News 12. On your side, breaking news.
We begin with that breaking news. We are still on the scene of an accident on I-20. It is on the eastbound side heading toward Columbia at the Bettis Academy Road overpass. Able to give you a different vantage point here. A tractor trailer hit the bridge there. You can see down below. We are told the coroner has arrived. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office confirms the driver of that tractor trailer is dead. And our crew says, and you can sort of see right under that bridge, that the tractor trailer is up sort of on the overpass, like on the embankment right there. But we saw a big pileup last night at the same spot on the other side of the interstate involving a tractor trailer, a bus, and 7 other vehicles. So a dangerous stretch of I-20 right here as we look above from our drone. In a news conference just in the last few hours, Georgia's governor says how we handle the next few days is crucial to how we begin the winter.
Our fight for COVID-19 has uprooted many of the norms that we're used to, especially during the holidays. I know that people are frustrated and ready to return to normal. I am as well. But we cannot grow weary. We have to keep our foot on the gas in this fight.
Governor Kemp hopes these next few weeks will be a bump, not a spike in cases. And taking a look at what we're working with in the two-state right now, more than 2,400 new cases today in Georgia, more than 1,300 in South Carolina. And because of that, Governor Kemp and Dr. Toomey with the Public Health Department are asking you to host Zoom Thanksgivings, or at least make those get-togethers small and socially distanced. But we know a lot of people still traveling. Air travel in this pandemic era hit records this past weekend. Brady Trapnell is live along I-20, a busy I-20 as a lot of people still choose to take to the roads for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Laura, I-20 is backed up here like it normally typically is this time of the afternoon. But more people, as you said, are choosing to drive to see family for this Thanksgiving, opting out of going to take a flight like they might have typically in a normal year. But also health officials say that likely won't make much of a difference in regards to the COVID-19 cases once we pass through this holiday season. We went over to Augusta Regional Airport this morning to see what the crowds looked like there, and it was a ghost town. Officials say they haven't really seen an increase in holiday travel like in other parts of the country. Their numbers are still half of what they were last year, but they still recommend if you are at all uncomfortable with COVID-19 or the safety procedures, it's probably best to just stay at home. Health officials recommend the same thing. They say keep gathering small and keep it within your own household. Dr. Iwana Churka at University Hospital says getting tested is a false sense of security when being around potentially high-risk family members.
By no means a negative test means that you cannot develop COVID after your test was resulted. I think we're all kind of bracing, all of us in healthcare, for what's going to happen over the holiday.
A University Hospital says if you are at high risk for developing severe COVID-19, it's probably best to attend those gatherings via Zoom or FaceTime. Don't put yourself at that risk if it's completely necessary. And we'll walk you through some steps to take care of your family during this holiday season on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Okay, a lot of tough decisions for families this Thanksgiving. Brady, thank you. And if you do want to get tested, AU's drive-through testing site, that'll be open Monday through Friday from 9 to 4:30, Saturday from 7 to noon. But they are closed Thanksgiving Day. You need to make an appointment beforehand, and you should get your results within 24 hours. The airline industry expecting to take a huge cut this year into next because of the pandemic. Early estimates show the industry will lose $157 billion, the biggest hit to airlines since World War II. The industry expects things to get better in the fourth quarter of next year, but that is still a long time for now as borders reopen and a vaccine becomes more widely available. Taking a look outside over Grovetown, gorgeous skies this afternoon as some people begin to hit the roads to head to visit family for Thanksgiving, Mikkel. And more on that new Wall Street milestone. The Dow crossed the 30,000 mark for the first time ever in this morning's trade. This comes as some of the uncertainty about the outcome of the presidential election is lifted, as well as hopes a vaccine could be available soon. The number of kids getting COVID has reached a new record high. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, more than 144,000 new pediatric cases were reported between November 12th and the 19th. That is the highest weekly increase since the pandemic began. There's also been a 28% increase in pediatric cases over the last 2 weeks. Children make up more than 11% of all cases in the country. Long testing lines in New York as health officials there brace for another COVID-19 surge. This is in Staten Island, where the governor has reopened field hospitals as a way to try to keep from overwhelming those regular hospitals. New restrictions are set to go in effect over the Thanksgiving holiday. And this comes as the state climbs from more than 1,200 cases to more than 2,700 over the last 3 weeks. The governor projecting that number to pass 6,000 in the next couple of weeks. Looks like the FDA is getting closer to approving 2 COVID-19 vaccines. The agency asked members of their vaccine advisory committee to reserve December 17th and 18th for meetings. The FDA meets with the committee before allowing any vaccine to go to market. Another meeting already on the books for December 10th will focus on Pfizer's application for emergency use for its vaccine. Moderna and Pfizer both say their vaccine candidates are 95% effective. Japan seeing another surge of COVID cases, and Tokyo's governor is not backing down from holding the Olympics next summer. Japan is seeing a nationwide daily total exceeding 2,000. Tokyo's governor has acknowledged the seriousness of the recent increase, but is firm about safely hosting the Olympic Games next summer, despite growing concern in Japan.
Following national guidelines and in anticipation of the upcoming flu season, Tokyo has set the demand for testing at about 65,000, and we will prepare a testing system by early December.
Her comments come a week after the Olympic Committee president visited Tokyo, where he held a series of talks with Japanese Olympic officials to make sure that the games could be safe and secure. Italians could start getting the COVID-19 vaccine at the end of January. That's according to the Prime Minister. He says the vaccine at the moment should not be administered on a mandatory basis, and when asked if he would get the vaccine, he said he will definitely do it. He also added he would not be one of the first, though, because those the elderly and those highest at risk need it the most right now. The NFL is toughening up its rules concerning face masks. At the beginning of the season, the league told coaches they need to wear face masks on the sidelines. Well, now that mandate will extend to players as well. If players are not wearing a helmet, if they're not going into a game, a mask must be worn or they could face fines. Also, the league says face shields are no longer enough. Must be a mask, has to be a mask on the sidelines. Netflix is looking to become the largest production hub in the country. They're expanding their existing studio complex in New Mexico. They plan to add several new additions to this complex out in Albuquerque. They're also committing to add $1 billion in production spending over the next decade. Netflix is expected to create 1,000 production jobs. $24 million in state and local economic development will go towards that expansion. Black Friday sales are already underway online. I know I've been clicking, maybe you have too, but a lot of those retailers are offering some of the biggest discounts of the year. It's pretty tempting to just hit that buy button, but you could be putting your bank account at risk of being drained. Jamie Tucker explains why this holiday season may be the best ever for the bad guys.
This year, more people are staying home to take advantage of those Black Friday sales, and if you're ready to go, so are the cyber criminals. Here are a few things you need to know before you start shopping. On a computer or phone, don't enter credit card information on any website that does not display a lock on its web address. Without it, the site is unsecured and your credit card information or passwords can be stolen. For goodness sakes, be careful clicking on a link in an advertisement that shows up in your email. Congratulations, you get a $50 Home Depot gift card, not on your life. Hover over the link to see where it goes. This one's a shortcut, and a click might install malware. Don't use a debit card. That's a direct link to your bank account. Use a credit card. Even better, I recommend using PayPal. That will give you even more protection from bad purchases or purchases that never arrive. If you are using your smartphone, shop with the retailer's app to make sure you're on the right site, and make sure it's the actual store app. Where did you get it? If you downloaded it from anywhere other than Google or the Apple App Store, there's a risk that it's a fake. If you're shopping from somewhere other than your home network, it's safer using a VPN or virtual private network. If you are out, it's safer to use your wireless carrier's network rather than free Wi-Fi somewhere. Just turn off Wi-Fi whenever you shop. That's a lot to think about. I know I have these tips and more on my blog, whatthetech.tv. But keep in mind, if you're excited about Black Friday shopping, so are the bad guys. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
And in the survey, only 14% of shoppers say they'll go to brick and mortar stores for Black Friday this year. So, like most of us, it's going to be online. A surgery has two families forever connected, and they met for the first time to thank each other. We'll tell you how these families saved two lives.
And I'm giving out yellow lights for the next 2 days. We do have those isolated rain chances coming in for tomorrow and Thanksgiving. A look at that 7-day forecast and your hour-by-hour forecast after the break.
I'm Raphael Warnock, and I approve this message.
Two women from different families each donated a kidney to save the life of the other's loved one. Dave McDaniel was there as the families met for the first time.
Seeing the way that, she's, struggled in life, and nobody wants to see their child suffer.
Her 4-year-old, Emery, has needed a new kidney since birth. Her parents, unfortunately, were not proper matches, but Hallie Thomas was.
This has been such a big journey for us, and I'm a teacher, so I think anything involved with kids just is a soft spot for me.
She happily donated a kidney to little Emery, and as luck would have it, Emery's mom was a match for Hallie's husband, Richard, who also needed a kidney.
For as long as I have this kidney, for as long as, I'm alive, that family and that gesture is going to mean a lot to us.
You heard that right. Richard's wife gave a kidney to Emery, and Emery's mom gave a kidney to Richard. Not only was the swap between two families, those families live locally. Truly amazing. They met today for the first time.
It means a lot to us, and a piece of Hallie is a part of their family, and their family is a part of our family.
The anticipation of knowing who part of your body is, in these people now, and their part of their body is in my daughter now. It's like pretty crazy scenario.
I have every intention of planning the reunion, multiple reunions from here until the end of time.
And once COVID-19 isn't such an issue, a much anticipated embrace.
The time when COVID doesn't exist and I can wrap my arms around her and, give her the biggest hug.
What are the chances of all of that matching up? Pretty wild. Speaking of chances, hurricane chances, this has been the craziest hurricane season on record, Mikkel.
That's right.
As long as we are committed to mass incarceration is the beast.
Raphael Warnock, dangerously radical.
Open up the jails and let our children go.
We are just a day away from bringing back Saved by the Bell. The modern-day reboot premieres tomorrow, and here's what you can expect. All the millennials are just basking in the nostalgia, but there's a new crop of students at Bayside High with the original stars returning as adults. In the reboot, AC Slater is now a PE teacher, Jesse is a school counselor, and Zach Morris is now the governor, who has been cutting school funding. You can watch the reboot on the streaming service Peacock, so yeah, I'm going to definitely be watching that. Golly, they look old though. That's making me super depressed. Okay, here's a way to watch what you eat. Smell your donuts and your coffee. Don't eat them. Seems simple enough. Dunkin' has teamed up with lifestyle brand Homesick to bring back scented candles that smell just like a Dunkin' store. The original blend smells like coffee and cream. The old-fashioned smells like fresh donuts. So, go all in. Go for both of them. Both sell for about $34, or you could buy a whole lot of real donuts and coffee for $34. Okay, check this out. A helicopter crew was rounding up bighorn sheep in the middle of nowhere, southern Utah, when they saw this giant metallic rock thing in the middle of red rocks in a desert. Wait for it. Here it comes. Where is it? Anyways, there it is. You see it in the corner tucked back there? It stands about 10 to 12 feet tall. The crew say they think it was most likely placed there by an artist rather than an alien, which is what we're hoping to. But it is illegal to install structures or art without permission on public lands.
We're kind of joking around that if one of us suddenly disappears, then I guess the rest of us make a run for it. I'm assuming it is, some new wave artist or something, or somebody who just is a big 2001 Space Odyssey fan.
So they're not telling us where this thing is located. The Bureau of Land Management is deciding whether they need to investigate this thing further, but I'm going to say I think it's aliens, so I don't offend any that may or may not have placed it there, but I'm not touching that thing with a 10-foot pole.
It's a good idea to play it safe, Laura. I want to stay on the good side of those aliens.
When you say it like that, I sound like a psycho.
No, I was being serious, but have a few showers possible heading towards Thanksgiving, but drying out for your Friday. I'll have a look at that 7-day forecast one more time after the break.
Friday sales event, Hilton Ruben Chrysler Jeep.com.
Yeah. You want local news that impacts you?
We've got you covered.
We're on your side.
On your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
An Augusta community in shock. Neighbors can't believe after 2 people are killed in a barber shop there.
He was only 34. Just trying to get his hair cut.
Where things stand in the investigation to find that killer.
Plus a time of giving with chances for people in need to have a warm meal on Thanksgiving. But we start tonight with a suspect on the run after that double murder at a local barber shop. Our crew saw deputies knocking on doors today trying to find answers.
People in that community still can't believe what happened. See our company's live for us outside the Johnson Beauty and Barber Salon in Harrisburg, where the crime did take place.
You know, when we talked to people coming here today, the grief hit harder for them because these were 2 men who were preparing for Thanksgiving right down to their dinner menus. Now 2 families, an entire community at a loss.
Everybody, the first thing they say is this a joke? I wish it was a joke too.
Marcus Owens remembers his last conversation with dear friend Wyman Scott because it was only less than 2 hours before police found the 34-year-old's body.
Talked to him at 12:30. He sent his last text message to me at 12:36. That Wyman really was a great person. A really solid friend.
Families tell us Wyman Scott was a customer at Johnson's Beauty and Barber Salon looking to get his hair done for the holidays. That's why Miguel Freeman took clients. Normally the shop is closed on Monday, but for the holiday season, Freeman opened up to help groom for Thanksgiving gatherings.
This Monday, I just kind of wish he hadn't never came. He might still be alive if he hadn't came down here. He's a dad, he's a granddad. It's hurtful. And I know all of them are hurting real bad. I know they are.
Richland County investigators knocked on doors this morning searching for answers, and loved ones don't know how much longer they can go without them. The sheriff's office has not confirmed if the shooting was targeted or a random crime, but deputies say this was not a problem place of business. The community describing the shop as a peaceful staple in Harrisburg.
It could have been done to any one of us around here. You know, I mean, it's getting dangerous out here, especially in this neighborhood.
For those coming and going here today, paying tributes and respect, they say this season was supposed to be filled with holidays, now filled with heartbreaks. The Richland County Sheriff's Office is looking for witnesses to come forward. So if you know anything about this case, we posted this on Wrdw.com.
Just so much sadness right here at the holidays. Sierra, thank you.
Also this evening, 2 bad crashes in the last couple of hours. One of them is deadly. We give you here a live look at some of the backup and the actual crash scene. This is I-20 eastbound in South Carolina, right there near exit 11. As we zoom in there, you can see the top of the wreckage of an 18-wheeler that actually hit the bridge there. And we understand the driver of that 18-wheeler has lost his or her life. If you're heading out, officers ask you to avoid this area as they clean up the scene because you can see traffic there moving slowly, but it is moving as that traffic heads eastbound on I-20. Going to give you a look from our News 12 drone of that scene. This is right back where we were just a moment ago, but there as we look at this wide scene, you can see the tractor trailer, the wreckage of it, there below the bridge after hitting one of the pilings apparently. Officials say the tractor trailer was heading eastbound when he hit that bridge, and the driver, as I said, pronounced dead at the scene.
And less than an hour after that accident, a crash on Bobby Jones sent 2 people to the hospital. 2 trucks, one of them pulling a trailer, crashed on the eastbound side between the Doug Bernard and Laney Walker exits. 2 workers were thrown from that trailer. They do have serious injuries, so we will keep you updated on both of those crashes.
One more camera to check for you now as we look at a beautiful sunset there from our Grovetown camera, I-20 down in the lower right-hand part of your screen. Very busy afternoon, very busy evening on the road, but tomorrow the good news is those lane closures and construction work, that will be stopped in the two-state just to make your holiday travel easier. But the headline right there is a gorgeous end to a beautiful day. But, Mikhail, I understand some clouds will be moving in.
That's right, Richard. Today was a beautiful day, and definitely a beautiful end to all that sunshine we saw today.